Hey, buddy.
What up, what up? That was my fault. I severely miscalculated how much time I had left before 8 o'clock.
No worries.
I was like, ooh, crap. Army vets in. What's going on, buddy? All right. Squirt, could you not tonight, please?
Why is my green screen not taking the picture?
I don't know. And why is Cobra not coming in yet?
Cobra's finishing up with bowling, so he might be a few minutes late.
There's the Southpaw.
Okay, that one worked.
Would you stop?
Here I am.
What up, Marvin?
What do you want, baby? I didn't call you. My daughter thought I was talking to her.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, this
Stay right there.
I was going to say, that one will work.
Because the other one, no, I don't want to fight here. Fight it.
Dude, I invited you like 3 or 4 times, Cobe. Come on now. See, now this is why every time you're live, I say I want to be Marvin when I grow up. He's been on here for 2 minutes, and he's already cleared his gift gallery.
Oh, shoot. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, shoot, man. I thought that was for you.
No, homie, that was all you, brother.
Oh, man, that's cool. Thanks. Whoever did that.
I was saying, it was like 20, 25 lightning bolts. I'm like, we've been on for 3 minutes. But no, I stopped by your home house on Friday after I went to work.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I was down
man.
though.
I went to possibly talk up a PSO option because I got a guy that's looking to move out of Indy.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, well, we're kind of already talking to the guy that Pindeck recommended. He's like, but we'll take his name if that falls through. I said, all right, cool. I'll give my buddy a shot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. We are full force now. So, welcome to Bowlers Helping Bowlers. We have Southpaw.show, my man Marvin, which the way I met Marvin was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, just about, 2 months ago?
Yep. I had thrown the block before Marvin, and I see Marvin walking up. I'm like, hey, man, just to give you a little heads up, it plays this way, it plays this way. He goes, yo, homie, I'm left-handed. I turned around, showed him my name on my jersey. I said, Marvin, so am I.
Well, it's not often you get advice from other people and you're multiple lefties, because lefties are a lot fewer and far between.
That's one thing I do with lefties. Period. We're gonna stick together. You know, I don't care if they're they're leading already. You know, they're getting, especially if I'm going to a tournament where we're crossing pairs. Hey, I see a lefty. Hey man, you're gonna come to my pair. This is what this lane's doing. This is what that lane's doing.
Yep. See, now if I was following you, I would ask you one question: what's your break point? Because that's what I'm throwing into.
Right.
Because as you screamed in one of your videos, you like to Squirt, shut up. Excuse me, I got a 7-pound dog that thinks she's Captain Dynamite. Sorry about that. But you screamed straight. You're a lefty. Straighter is greater. I don't necessarily believe into that. I can actually play the entire lane when I want to.
Oh, now, granted, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes, yes, like, but most times out of 10, you know a righty's biggest cliche: big dot, second arrow.
Oh yeah, yep. I'm gonna play 25 to 10.
All day.
25 to 10. That's the righty wheelhouse.
That part.
But like I bowled the 700 tournament here in St. Charles, and I got paired up with 2 other lefties, and it was the only time in my lifetime where I haven't been either the highest speed or the highest rev rate of any lefties on the pair. I got behind their transition and was royally screwed.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think like who was probably Noah Gallagher.
That's one.
See, I already knew who it was. And then who's the other one?
Austin Easley.
Austin's not bad, huh? I can play through. I can usually play through both of them.
Right. I mean, I can play through Austin because me and Austin typically play a little bit of a similar line because he likes to swing it just a little bit.
Right.
Noah's 475 rev rate at 20 miles an hour, rocket to the pocket.
Yeah.
And my stuff was just like hitting their jet wash and just going dead right. And I'm like, I don't have much experience with this. I'm not used to being the slowest and lowest rev lefty. And I think I averaged maybe 155 for that 6-game tournament. It was bad.
Oh boy.
All right.
So yeah, like when I was down in Louisville this weekend, my first block I bowled. I had 2 lefties on the pair. I had 2 more lefties on the pair. I had one lefty. He slow hooks the ball, and when I say he slow hooks the ball, I mean just inside that big arcing rainbow, right to left, and just lots of revs. Then I had another lefty. He's sitting there. He was, him and I played on top of each other. The difference was I had more hand than he did, and I was even able to get a little more further left than he was because the way the shot played, man, like it didn't even break down either. Like the shot held up, it was there to like really score on. Yeah, it was really nice. And then like Sunday, no, as a matter of fact, then my second set that I bowled Saturday, I turned around and again had 2 more lefties on the pair. All 3 of us, we were like pretty much we were playing at the same spot on the lane. Like I said, got an older guy, 60 plus years old. You know him, Terry Jones.
Yeah. T. Jones. I love T. Jones.
Yeah. And Devere Buckley.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Had both of them on there with me. Yeah.
Devere's a fun lady to bowl with. Every time I get paired up with her, I'm like, yes.
I love it. Awesome lady. Awesome. You know, she's I'm going to say St. Louis County Hall of Famer, St. Charles County Hall of Famer, plus whatever county that is out there in Belleville, Illinois.
St. Clair?
I think that's the county, St. Clair County. Yeah, she's a Hall of Famer out there too. So yeah, she's in several Halls of Fame plus TNBA.
Right.
Yeah. But the three of us, we were on a pair. I was throwing the wrong ball. I turned around, I got in the right ball, and we never had to move. All three, like none of us. The only thing Terry did, he actually he ball changed, and that was it. But like I said, he just went to a different ball. He didn't have to move his feet. None of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we love. Where you're like, yeah, I bowled an 8-game block and I moved like two right all day long.
Like literally. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even have to move. So then, yesterday, 6 games on the same pair. I actually didn't have to ball change until the 5th frame of the last game.
That's pretty good. That's when the lefties have the berries.
And like I said, did you know executive shut down there in Louisville? So they just moved to another spot on the east end of town. Smaller house, but they took all their lanes, all their equipment, all their lane machines, everything else. You know, pin setters, all that, took it all over. Like I said, all the way on the east end of Louisville. And they set up shop there. So now they're there. They just renamed the place. It's still Strike and Spare.
Right.
Oh, those were new lanes. Thanks, Kim. I didn't realize that. But hell, they played good anyway. There's a person in the chat, Kim Fontaine. She was actually down there too. She's actually from Louisville, and she bowled there this weekend too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, well,
I was going to say,
Louisville, so she goes there and bowls there.
Cobe and Brian are probably a little bit lost because we're doing a lot of St. Louis lingo right now.
Sorry about that.
But Marvin bowls at about a house that's probably about an hour west of where I live. I started watching the end of his lives because for whatever reason I would always end about 45 minutes before you did, and I'd watch yours on the way home from the bowling alley.
Yeah, that's because we actually bowl 5-man leagues, freaking 4 days a week here. I'm like, dude, how do you bowl? That's one thing. I'm like, you got to mix it up a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
Like the one league they got on Mondays is a 4-man. Then Tuesdays 5-man. Wednesdays is 5-man. Thursdays is 5-man. We don't even have league on Fridays.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So, on your questionnaire that we got from you, it said you've been bowling for 41 years. You don't even look that old.
I know I don't. I was born in the 70s, I'll just say.
Okay.
So yeah.
And have you been Missouri the entire time? Are you born and bred here?
No,
or
I've been living in Missouri for 13 years.
Where'd you come from?
New Jersey.
Hey.
I'm gonna say Central New Jersey just to give you. Stop it, Tony P. But just to give you a general idea, the place where they used to go a lot in New Jersey, Cavalier, I live maybe about 20 minutes from there.
Okay.
From where a lot of PBA stops were, the U.S. Open, that kind of, yeah, that big house in there was actually a house bigger than Cavalier that closed down like, oh my God, many years ago. I think they said it was a 100+ lane house.
Jesus.
Yes.
That's huge. That makes a super center look small.
Yeah, that part. Like, I mean, Cavalier was already big. Cavalier had 82 lanes. They still do, since Bolero.
Yeah.
I kind of, like I said, I kind of left that question a little blank because I worked on the other side of it before Bolero took over about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'll say 25.
Well,
So
with you being a transplant from Jersey, you should know the guy I recommended for your house.
Hey, Blaze.
who's that?
Joel,
Joel.
Dynamics Bowling, Hoodie Bowler.
Wait, yeah. Where's Joel from?
He's originally from Jersey,
Originally from
No
Jersey.
way.
Yeah.
and he transplanted to Indy
Yeah.
now, and he was looking to possibly explore other avenues, and I'm like, well, I had caught wind that Town and your house may have an opening, so I'm like, all right, well, I'll just go put a bug in somebody's ear real quick.
Yeah, he's still on the fence about what he's going to do right about now. But right now, he's not fully operational.
Yeah. I walked in and I was like, yep, this is the place, and I looked at the hours and it was just blank. I'm like, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, I mean, like like when I first moved here, what that guy did in 8 years was astronomical. Like when I first moved to, and then again, like I said, what I'm used to. Hey, I'm used to a pro shop being open in the middle of the day. I can walk in here and get a ball drill, get my ball taken care of. But like I said, when I first moved here, I walked in here. I'm like, every time I walked in a place, I'm like, this place is closed again. Why's the place closed? Because I mean, one of the dynamics was the pro shop that I came up in. It was pretty much a storefront. So but they were connected to the bowling alley. So they had a back entrance to the bowling alley. So.
Right.
Like I said, he can have his own hours however he wanted to. He didn't have to wait for a bowling alley to open. So he can sit there, if he wanted to, he can sit and drill a ball 1 o'clock in the morning.
Those are the types of shops I miss that I wish we had more of. That were in the bowling center, but that had their own hours. Like had a side door in the bowling center that was just for the shop.
Yep, they had their own access, that kind of deal. So yeah, I mean, like that's what I came up with. I came up under, and when I came out here, and I didn't see, like I said, the original owner of that shop. Like I'm not even gonna say the original, just the guy that was there running the shop. Like I've never seen him, but they approached me about wanting to throw different equipment. I'm like. I ain't even got you drilling my balls right now, but you want me to throw equipment? It's like, wait a minute, dude. We gotta figure this thing out here. Cause for about when I first moved down here for maybe about 3 years, I was still getting my stuff shipped in from New Jersey drilled. I was calling my shop back home in New Jersey, like, hey man, I want this one. As a matter of fact, I had a molded thumb at the time. I didn't have the switch grip at the time, but I had a molded thumb, so he had everything. He just turned around and punched my ball up. Maybe about later on in the week, there it is, in there at my door. Here you go. He go, hey man, I call him up, like, all right, how much owe you? I send him my credit card information, or I'd Venmo him or Cash App him.
Right. Speaking of new stuff, sitting at your front door.
Yeah, it sounds like you just picked up something. It sounds like
I already know what it is. Don't I?
I was gonna say these two know what it is.
See? I just heard the package and I'm like, that's a ball.
Craze Pearl.
Swag Craze Pearl.
Yeah, dude, I love that bowl.
Okay.
Because my Hustle AU decided it was gonna crack on me.
Oh.
So out with the old and in with the swag.
Where's the word? Man, like I've only had 2 balls cracked on me.
This is the second ball I've had crack on me.
And I'm talking in my my entire bowling lifetime. I've only had 2 balls cracking on me.
I think I've had 3.
I had a original Onyx Vibe that was so beat up that I had to engrave a serial number in it so I could bowl on the regional tour with it.
Oh my God!
And I engraved my wedding date on it. That one cracked. That's on display in the basement. Because I called it my wedding ball.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I can't exactly just toss this in the trash.
Yeah.
And then this one was my Hustle AU, so it was I affectionately called it the Kobe ball because it's orange and purple.
Right.
And I threw it. I double dribbled one into the lane, and the entire way it sounded like it was rolling on the thumb hole. I'm like, that's not good.
Yes, somebody had shipped me one like that. They didn't even realize, and I went to go throw it a couple times. Like, hey, wait a minute, what's wrong with this ball? The ball ain't right. The core separated from the shell.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like, oh, can't use that one.
Hey, Rowan.
And when I threw it, I had been throwing it really good. I was up. I was on pace for an easy 700.
Oh.
And it sounded like it was rolling on the thumb hole, and all the reaction just quit. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I sat there, and I could literally stick my nail in it and peel it. Yeah. And it was catching my thumbnail. I'm like, yep, that's not a scratch. That's cracked.
Yeah, that's... But as a matter of fact, if you can see, you look over there in my corner right there. I got original Black Widow. They're right there in that corner. Right. Where's my finger? right there.
Right there. Yep.
Yeah. I got an original Black Widow. I won't get rid of. Then I got.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you're at an undisclosed location because that guy in the bottom right may be like, come borrow that without asking.
But it's drilled, but then I got the original Pearl over there, and I got a cracked Redemption Solid.
Ooh, I remember the Redemptions.
That was the one from COVID. That's to me, that's kind of why that one cracked, because we were sitting there sitting there for so long. We weren't able to throw them whatnot, and just cracked on me.
I was gonna say, if you look, Cobra's showing off all of his 7 brands equipment.
Yeah. Is that Ivory Rhino?
No, it's either that or a Black Widow Ghost.
I was going to say either that or a Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost.
Yep.
Then I see Pink over there.
I got a 3.0 right down here. It's just getting dark. I got my Black Widow spare ball. Find it.
Oh, you a hammerhead too, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I got a pure NV.
Is that a radioactive I saw in there?
Yeah. Vibe.
That's radioactive.
Radioactive vibe.
Oh yeah. I got a pro shop in this stupid van.
Oh shoot.
Hey, and you know what? Spoken like a true bowler, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, as a matter of fact, that was the funny thing about that one. I had just came across a post on the Blue page, the Blue app. It said,
the meta universe.
Said, how many balls you got in your trunk right now? And I was down in Louisville. I took everything out. I took it. I have a very, very serious habit of that. Like, I'm on the road traveling. I bring my balls to my room. I'm just like, eh.
Yep.
So I said 0. That's it, because they're all in the hotel room.
Well, and it was funny because I took 9 balls down to Baton Rouge with me, right? They're like, you can't have that many. I said, I know that. I got the 6 that I think I'm going to use, and I got 3 just in case.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's all you can do. So, like,
Really good.
matter of fact, oh my, man, I got balls on the back seat of my car right now. Come to think.
Hold on. I got to screenshot this before this comment goes away.
Did you see it?
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what he's doing.
That way in the future I can go. Wait, you said something good about something that wasn't a Brands of Brunswick.
That one. Yeah,
Teach
like
every
how many
ball.
blanks? I got some blanks in my garage right now too.
Ah, Squirt, stop.
So yeah, I got a Kentucky pink. Why is my wife calling me? She doesn't know I'm in the house.
But
I'm in
no,
the
Cope, we
Matrix,
love
that's
you.
why.
We know you're a hammerhead. We just like giving you trouble.
Oh no, you're good. No worries here.
So
I like the-
yeah, remember what else? What else I got there? I got a blank envy, a blank extreme envy, and a blank effect.
I got a pure
That
envy.
actually, Cobra, if we had room for another ASIM in your bag, which is already very ASIM heavy, dude, you'd love that extreme envy. It is like your pure, but with a stronger cover stock that still actually has back end pop.
Cope don't got an extreme?
No, he's got a pure.
I got pure.
No, that pure to me is more of a hybrid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That ball's.
Yeah.
That ball's. I won
Because
$300.
that's what I wound up throwing down in Louisville on that shot, and it worked really well.
I like it because it can handle the heavy oil. But I'm having best luck right now with a Mania.
Some what?
Five Guys?
Some Five Guys.
I said fried rice.
Some fried rice.
Yeah. Fried
That's what you got.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're getting. That's what Mama getting. You want it? So,
Where's she at? She left.
yeah. Remember?
Oh, she ran away. I didn't know she went. Shit.
All right, so one other quick question that's kind of off of the questionnaire because
that'll
we
work.
kind of just use it as kind of a guideline. But I got to hear this story. Tell me the story of how this guy goes 30 feet down the lane, lets the ball go, and does not fall.
I had to be all of about 10, 11, 12 years old. That's it. I'm in the bowling alley bowling. Guys maybe about 10 lanes down. And I'm just sitting, just watching him. Like he's sitting there running full steam. Literally. I mean, full blown ball in his hand, wing back here. And I'm like, dude, you gonna let the ball go or sometime? He's still going. I'm like, he chucks it, and then he starts sliding like he's like doing one of them, what you call it, like the Patrick Swayze or something.
What do you want? Like, from the, like, chicken?
What fried rice from where?
Chinese.
Chinaman's open? Oh, today's only Monday. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Like, what do you want from it?
Get the shrimp fried rice. Now that she's gonna get my my normal. Hold on, y'all.
Oh, no, you're good. But yeah, I read that and you're like, and he didn't fall. I'm like, that is balance like no other. Like, how can you literally sit on an ice skating rink, throw a ball, and not fall?
It reminds me of the video I just saw where the guy walked up to to basically the pin setter off to the side and threw at the 10 pin and still missed.
I was going to say, contrary to popular belief, getting closer doesn't mean you're going to score better.
Tips to keep from lofting the ball. That's actually a pretty good question.
I have a lot of hand in my game, so I'm not the expert to tell you how to not loft.
I mean, for me, it's the lower you get, the less loft you're going to get. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to get lower to the ground.
Could be releasing late too.
Yeah.
Could be.
A lot of times it's release point. Like literally.
Flintstone.
I agree. It could be like I've got a lot of hand when I bowl. I come up and around it, which is naturally going to give me that loft because if I stay too behind it, the ball's gonna hit the lane while my hand's still in it.
Yeah.
Are
So
you 10 with it?
I
Maybe?
can see like a calmer hand, a little more up the back, and actually like that flick motion could help you eliminate that loft.
6'7". Yeah, you're having a hard time when you get low with your 6'7".
Whoa, you can just reach out and hit the pocket being that tall. Damn.
He can reach out about 20 feet down the lane.
Are you one-handed or two-handed?
Okay,
hold
really
on.
quick. I see Tony P said Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
That's another one. If you actually go on my page, I actually got a clip of it. I went to a 9-pin Saturday night. It was just like, man, I want to go bowl something. Went and found this 9-pin to go bowl. And this guy, I was like, you know what? Let me stream. What the heck? This guy does the whole Fred Flintstone twinkle toes about how many steps, Tony P? 10, 15 stutter steps. Then the last 3, just real nice and solid at the line. And he was striking all night.
Marvin, don't tell me you were at Oasis and it was like the one time I decided not to go to Oasis.
No.
Okay, good.
No. I was actually in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I saw Oasis's post, and I'm like, ordinarily I go just because I know a lot of people there, just like Josh knows a lot of people there, and I'm like, I just don't feel like it, so I'm not going to go.
Right. I did go to Oasis one time, right after Holiday Doubles that Saturday. That Saturday night I went down there. That turned out to be a long day for me already. So like first I bowled at 8:00 in the morning, and then I was sitting there hanging around because man, you go to Holiday Doubles, you want to talk about like seeing if anybody wants to get starstruck, just come to Holiday Doubles on a Friday and Saturday. And they can sit there all day and have a good autograph session, just sitting there seeing all the pro bowlers that come from all over for this tournament. I can sit and name drop till it's time for me to go to bed, even though it's only 8:30 here.
But yeah, I mean the Holiday Dubs, it's amazing how big that's gotten.
Yeah.
The
tournament,
the association could easily throw its logo on it, and it could be a PBA event.
It could. I think the reason they do it like that, like I said, just because it's just a local house shot, and that's pretty much why the PBA won't put their name on it. I mean, because it really could. It can just be a whole week long like kind of deal. They'd have to change the format and everything else. Because again, it started with just supposed to be a weekend thing, and it's just grown. But like I said, it's just like it is. Hey, you got one shot at qualifying, and then turn around and make the cut. Then turn around and make the cut so you can sit there and bowl Sunday.
Yep. And for reference, Brian Kober, this is a huge tournament that they post at McKendree, or at the bowling alley that houses McKendree. They do it right in between Christmas and New Year's, when everybody's on their holiday breaks. And it is a doubles tournament, and if you and your partner do not average 235, 245, you are not making the cut.
Yeah.
It is the first time I sat and watched the holiday doubles on YouTube. I was like, the scoring pace is absolutely insane.
I mean, like pretty much just to make the cut, you like it's just like any other tournament. You'd have to average around 230, 240. I mean, for the most, like even like an 8-game sweep or something like that. Just to make the cut. You're going to have quite a few teams that are going to turn around, shoot lights out. Now, catch 22. Guess what, y'all? It ain't always the PBA players either. So,
you got guys like Resnick, Wiedemeyer, Bittenbender, even though
Bender and
Bittenbender
Barron, yep. You get.
believe
it or not, you get a whole bunch of locals that still can score with the PBA players.
Yeah. I mean, that was like at the Midnight Bowler Society, the second year before it closed down for COVID, and they're talking about bringing it back now. Opie placed like second or third in one of the games.
Right.
And unless you're a St. Louis guy and you know Opie, you have no idea who Dwayne Stegmeyer is.
Exactly. That's another name right there too, Jerry Bars, yeah. I can even name a couple guys from like Kansas City. Dylan Burns, Trevor Baumgartner. I mean, you even get like Blake DeMore and Spencer Robars. From Springfield.
Yeah, I saw Spencer at the Southside doubles, and I did not think he was that short.
You wouldn't know until you like walk past him and you're like, wait a minute.
He is a smidge vertically challenged.
Just it, you know. He was in a bowling alley when they were passing out height, Yeah,
no kidding. All right, so
great kid though, great kid.
Yeah, Bri, Cobes, I am so sorry that you guys haven't had much input yet.
Feel free to chime in.
Yeah, is there anything you want to ask Marvin? He is got 41 years of experience. He's probably seen more than I've seen, and I've seen a lot.
I would say we can kind of kick back to the question of biggest pet peeve while bowling.
Now, the question I answered in that, and I'm going to expound on that, is that, it's so much more so that, like, where I bowl at, I'm pretty much the top bowler. And a lot of people mistake my confidence for arrogance. And also, like, even, like, just my game. That one, you said it, Kim. It's lane courtesy. See, but it's also I call it a culture thing. Like, I got lane courtesy drilled in my head at 10 years old.
Yeah.
It was 2-lane courtesy. I got 2-lane courtesy drilled in my head at 10 years old. Wherever you go, you give 2-lane courtesy. So that's always been drilled in my head. So, see, exactly. See? I'm seeing, looking at the comments where people are saying, hey, it got drilled in my head, even younger than that. Yeah. So, like, I know it's not only in Jersey. I promise you. Because I go right up to St. Louis, and guess what? The culture there is 2-lane courtesy, so you can kill that theory. Sorry if I'm sounding a little hostile, but people just have to be themselves,
Well,
See,
in St. Louis, it's a mix of 2-lane and double jump.
Right.
Because double jump is like a slightly modified 2-lane courtesy. I can be on the approach with somebody on a lane to my left or my right. But in double jump, as soon as those people move, I can go.
Right. So like a lot of times I'll sit and I'll turn around. I catch someone, walking up. They're getting ready to take their turn. I just politely step back. Then I get all these snide comments. Oh, he thinks he's this. No, I don't think I'm that. I'm bowling my game. Respect my game. I don't need you sitting there mouthing off. And that's to me that's like the biggest deal about it. So like a lot of people, and I mean like they're sitting there, like I'll look at them, and the most I'm doing is I'm taking a mental note of who it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you don't understand my game. Go ahead, keep going. You're good. You're good. And that's exactly what I tell people. Like a lot of people are, oh, I'm sorry. No, you're fine. Listen, I'm bowling my game.
Right.
This is my game. You're not disrupting my game by you playing your game. I'm just staying within my game.
Honestly,
Now, Kimberly, that right there, that's the biggest deal about that. Like, see, like back in the day, man, somebody's on 300. The league, pretty much the whole league is going to stop and watch you bowl.
same.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like you said, you can't even get two-lane courtesy. You're on 300 now. It's, I mean, like, yeah, but at the same time, have a little respect for that person.
Yeah.
So
And
I was
I
to
mean-
say that was a big one of the big topics on my co-host's corresponding show, The Learning Curve, was bowling etiquette and how it needs to be taught.
Right. I'm like, see, the age demographic in my area, lots of 50 plus. I can even dare say 60, just for reference. So they're gonna be them, and I'm just like, hey, I'm a bowler just like you.
Yeah.
My skill set's a little more, and just my entire, my game's a little different than what you're all used to seeing, and that's all. And I'm just gonna be me. Like all you gotta do, you go back and look at. All you gotta do is go back and look at some of my videos.
That actually leads into another great question, because I know I'm going to get two different answers from Brian and Cover.
Okay.
When you're on a tray, when you're working on a 3 and you are on frame 10, do you want everything to stop or do you want everybody to keep rolling?
It's working, so stay with it. Just
Yeah.
keep things normal.
Honestly, that's why the headphones came in, because everyone stops and it drives me absolutely bonkers.
Believe it or not, I can go either way.
So can I. I really don't. I don't have a preference either way. I've done it both ways.
I've developed where I've like, I mean, like years ago, like even like if you're throwing a back 11, people stop for that too. When that was a deal.
Yeah.
I've had that where people stop, and so like I've gotten used to it in the sense, okay, all right, everyone's stopping, all right, well, you know what? Let me just say, because as a matter of fact, like even just a couple months ago, I was down in Springfield at the Greater Ozarks Open. That's actually another big tournament. That one started end of February and still going on now. I think they got maybe about a month left.
Mm-hmm.
People come from all over for that one too. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas.
I wish they would let us put in multiple entries in the Ozarks.
I wish they would. Because, man, I'd love to go back.
Dude, I would love to. I love my group that I go with. I've been bowling with them for years, and they're a great group of guys. But if they allowed a multiple entry, I would love to get a TikTok team together and take a TikTok team down.
Like, literally. Like I said, almost like nationals. Like there's talk of trying to get from stream bowling. They're trying to get a whole. They're trying to get like an entire group. Like, hey, let's figure out how to get out there.
Right.
So when I was on 300 down in Springfield, I had one pair inside of me. They're still bowling. I got another pair inside of me. They stopped bowling. Like literally. You see what I'm saying? So it was like, okay. So then what happened was the one lane they were still bowling. They actually got the person like, hey, stop! He's on 300. I was like, don't worry about him. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Let him bowl. I was just the only thing I was going to do is just adjust myself too, and a lot of times what I do. That's what I do in between shots.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know that.
Just like that.
But yeah, and that was the other thing. Like my 300, the one I finished, it was in a seniors four person team on a Friday night. Like literally, my team is the only team that was like angling the ball and playing the lane. Everybody else is throwing plastic up the middle, and we're bowling the blind. So I'm just hammering it out. Next thing I know, I'm in the 10th. I'm like, oh, I haven't missed yet. And in my video for my 299 heartbreak video, that was actually during a competitive Thursday night league, and you saw the entire thing was just me, and I rang the dang 7-pin.
Yeah. I mean, like, see, as a matter of fact, like, even like when I was going for 800 earlier this year, like, see, the thing about it too was I was actually on 302 at the same time. Like, the league stopped bowling. Like a couple pairs next to me, they stopped bowling and they were watching me because I had a real hot hand that night. As a matter of fact, because the game before that, I had went front 10 and left for 7-pin. Like I said, it started the third game front 9 again. That's
the one thing I never understood is people stopping bowling at the end of the night to watch an 800. It's like, dude, just let me finish my set. I'm in a groove. Don't stop what you're doing.
Oh, I was like I said, I already got in a world of my own. I wasn't even focused on it or anything like that. I'm still bowling. I'm still talking in the comments on TikTok and there on my live stream. Because a lot of times I'm able to do that. I can just turn around and just get in a world of my own where I'm sitting there and I won't let anything around me affect me. And I can just keep going. Like sometimes, yes, I'll have that moment where like everything just bothers me. But at the same time, I'm still bowling pretty well for the most part. But
well, and that's the thing is one of the last really good leagues at Frontier, league nights at Frontier, I was shooting a high 7, like 775, 780, and I spent all 3 games talking to these 2 fools on my chat.
Right.
Because they were keeping me centered.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need that distraction.
Like literally, and that's all it takes. Like sometimes it's like, hey, like even like sometimes I won't even sit and talk to my chat. I'm sitting there just palling it up with like anybody around me. We're sitting there having a grand time. And pins are falling.
I've even had Kober have to tell me it was my turn once. He's like, see, it's your turn. Go bowl.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been in that situation too. It's like, geez, 11,500. Big Josh, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Josh.
But yeah, a lot of times, Walt WD Miles, yeah, he'll tell you a lot of times, like if you're not there, like I have to sit and scroll back through a lot of chat, like to try and catch up on my chat sometimes, and I'm like, because sometimes people ask me questions, and I'm like, and especially like if it's one like it's a conversation starter, I'll get it going.
That is another good question for everybody, because we all stream our bowling. When you're bowling, do you prefer the active chat, or do you prefer to just let it go and just do your thing?
I mean, if you're going live, to me, you've got to interact with people or they get bored. I mean, there's a fine line.
Yeah.
I'll say I prefer an interactive chat where the chat is all interacting with each other. Like you see here, like you see Kim and Tony P. They're sitting there having a nice full blown conversation right up under us. You know, just chiming in with what we're saying. You know, like things of that nature. Even like I'm sitting looking at Walt right now. And
Carter shot an 897 in no tap. Please tell me he was using one of my balls. That boy, which one? Okay. Josh is actually talking about one of our junior bowlers at Union that I actually donated an entire bag to.
oh, awesome. Awesome. I see. I did leave one question blank because I can like sit and like answer that one. Like, see, I'm big on that. Oh, that's horrible, Kim. That's horrible. The league had a separate prize fund pretty much for her team where money wasn't even going because they were winning money that wasn't going into the league.
That's nuts.
That's to me that's just like when like I joined the leagues I bowl in. The one league, I was like, I argue with them. I'm like, you're giving out all these individual prizes, and you're not even giving out money. First place still isn't even getting their money back.
Oh, so he wasn't even taking advantage of a lot of no taps. He went 29 for 36. That's a night to remember. Carter's what, 14 years old, I think. 14, 15. He's about my kid's age. He's about my youngest son's age. Yeah, he is my.
Oh,
my
look at
youngest
that!
son's age.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's like that's like the downside. I'm like, so we're like basically like none of the leagues here do you get your money back except for my summer league that I bowl on Wednesday nights.
Yeah,
I was like, I mean, yes, I understand. Like league dues, $25. I was paying $25 back in 1998, and I was bowling 6 games doubles.
yeah.
I'm like, you know, that's what I said. You got your age demographic going on here. And I hate to say it that way. So, you know, a lot of people, hey, they're living off a pension, sitting at home, not doing much of nothing anyway. They, you know, they're just there to go bowling. They got their senior league that they do on Monday. But, you know, a couple of them, they like to do other things. You know, they still like to bowl. And the fellowship of that.
And that's another question that I want to bring up to you guys that I hadn't even thought about, and I'm actually kind of upset at myself that I haven't brought it up in the 2 months we've been doing this show. USBC used to give out multiple awards for a bunch of different things.
Literally.
You had your 710 patch, you had your 700 patch, you had your 50 over patches. You don't get anything from the USBC now, hardly at all. You get if you shoot an honor score, you get the plaque. You get the paper plaque that doesn't even come framed anymore. And that's it. I think when the ABC folded, that's when the USBC started not giving out as many of these awards to the point where we're not getting anything. We need to get back to giving out awards for accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, like, literally.
If it keeps growing like it's growing, they might get back to it. But then again, this generation's stuck in that everybody gets a trophy bullshit. So
Yeah, I mean, I mean, to me, like you know, like to me, that's what it boiled down to as far as like, you know, giving out individual prizes. So I argued with them for 3 years. I was like, you guys need to have a women's prize because they initially didn't have a women's prize fund. And I was like, this is not fair to the women.
That's insane.
All because it came from me. Like I said, this is exactly where I'm coming from, where people will literally disrespect me to my face. because the message came from me, it got voted down. So I stopped going to the league meetings just because I was like, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and have to bail myself out over bowling. I'm not doing it.
I don't think we'll ever bring back the ABC, but I think the growth of the UBA can get the USBC's attention.
If UBA partnered with someone and UBA started expanding out here to the Midwest, I believe they can actually run down USBC. But like I said, that's all they have to do is partner with an award, an awards company, someone that does it. That's all they have to do is partner with them on that. And yes, because I mean, like even like the things they do is just like really awesome to see. And that's what I said.
The UBA has some of the best jersey creations I've ever seen.
Man, just to see it's awesome. That's the only way it's just awesome to see. It really is. So like but back to like individual parties, I had asked the association. I'm gonna say ambassador. I'm gonna say he's like a member. The guy's just been sitting here on party association for so long, does so much. I saw where another association, they gave out, they had they presented the person with a high average award for having high average in their association. I asked them about that. Oh no, that's something that they did, that the association did that. Well, how come y'all don't do it? Something's wrong.
Exactly.
Here.
My league house, they will do like full votes for payouts and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter what payout you choose. You can be the first place team. You're never going to get your money back.
Right.
Never.
And that's another thing that I think could be a big step in the right direction, is if these individual leagues went from like $25 a night to $28 or $30 a night,
right?
And they did their own awards. Like they came out of the league fund. Like if you get a 710, you get if you pick the 710, you get a 710 patch, but it's not from USBC, it's from your league.
Right. Like hell, I made the Big Four for the first time ever earlier this year. Never made the Big Four before. I made the Big Four and did it twice this year. Go back to my content.
But yeah, I mean, and I think that would be another incentive for more people to get into the games. Like J.R. Raymond. I love J.R. Raymond to death. He's got a bunch of opinions on entitled league bowlers, and I tend to agree with him on some of those aspects. But us as league bowlers have had so much stuff taken away from us from our leagues, specifically the individual goals, the patches, and everything like that, and we've never left. That's something that should be recognized as well, the loyalty of the league bowlers to the organization.
Right. And that's pretty much like what it is. See, like I said, even the problem is like, see where I bowl, everyone's got fish hooks in their pockets when it comes to side action. I'll just say. So it's like, me, it's business to me. I'm working, so that's what I said.
See,
this
now,
year is nothing more than competitive practice for me.
That is the thing in St. Charles County that I wish we would bring back, would be more of that side action, because we used to be a really good side action area in St. Charles County. Now you kind of got to go towards your area, or you got to go into St. Louis County to Action Bowl.
There's nothing in my area.
It's like
there's nothing, dude. I mean, literally, like I said,
well,
you got Eldon, you got California. Who else?
I like Eldon. Eldon's a nice little house. I've shot a couple of 9 pins there.
I banned myself from there. So
me and a buddy did the doubles 9 pin there. We did an Airbnb at the lake, made the entire weekend out of it.
See, because like me myself, like if they're like even going down all the way down to the lake, like if they but you're going down to just a bowl and you're not really, the side action ain't there. It's not worth the trip.
Right.
So I mean that's why I was going down to Eldon in California, just for like I said, for the 9 pins, just I call it a re-up.
Right.
Before I come out to St. Louis or St. Charles or go out to Kansas City.
A little quick tune-up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was the entire creation of the Midnight Bowler Society. It was their entire concept is 10 games of action without calling it 10 games of action.
Right. And I mean, like, you pretty much turn around and you go to you go to the 8-game tournaments. That's pretty much what it's pretty much what they're doing. They're dropping the entry fee, but $100 is going towards the tournament itself, as opposed to look here, the Midnight Bowl is here. Drop your money, and this is it.
And you want to talk about some of the most brutal oil patterns that I have not seen in a PBA major. They're bowled at the Midnight Bowlers Society.
That part. I've sat and I've watched and I'm like, wow.
Like one year it was 48 foot, like 35 mils, dead flat.
Yep.
Nobody was hooking the ball.
Yeah. I've sat and watched it all.
And you're sitting there, first play, like the Midnight Bowler Society was $1,000 for 10 games. So it was $100 a game for action, and they paid out after every game.
Right.
You were getting game-winning scores of like 220.
Exactly.
There was no high scoring in that tournament whatsoever. And these are guys that are coming in with USBC book averages in the in the high 230s.
Yep. Literally. All right, come on now, that's great. What's wrong?
Hey, got the puzzle on the first try. That's a good night. Now, I don't know much about Ohio and Florida. Do you guys still get action, or is it pretty much dead there too?
Robert?
I think it's.
Thank you, baby.
I don't know. I don't bowl. I do 9-pin leagues. So, I mean, I bowl for fun. So I don't know.
I know that in my league house, every Saturday they dedicate basically it's 4 or 6 lanes to a small group. And it's just like cash hand league type of pay in, pay out, basically every Saturday. But I don't see that very often. I only see it kind of in the smaller houses. And the lanes I'm in is definitely the smaller out of the group because we have a lot of boleros here. Butchie approved question.
Oh, blessed Jesus! Every time I hear bolero, I'm just like, my house is, and when you got a district manager that has to come from New York all the time, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Now, I do know Eastgate Lanes, with their Thursday night men's league they pay out cash prizes at the end, and then they do like a party and whatnot, and I think they give out awards for highest average and stuff like that. But
Tell us how you
other,
Butchie
what'd you say?
came in and said he hated Bolero.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, back in the God, even as early as the mid 2000s, you'd sit there and you'd bowl your Friday night league, and the house would literally would close,
Yep.
and then they would stay open for your league bowlers, and we'd be sitting there throwing jackpots till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Literally. Now, you know, trying to find jackpots now is like, ugh.
I think a lot of it has to do with
Because I remember my one league, even on a Sunday morning after 9 o'clock in the morning, there we are. We got 8 lanes going, people bowling jackpots, and that's after we just got done bowling league. You know, I mean, 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. You know, and I mean, you know, even for a cheap man, you turn around, you know, $100 a game. Just you know, trying to do that now, you know, is like going to the dentist. You know, don't do, you know. He says, "Hey, let's do a root canal." You say, "Hey, let's do a root canal." No, I want to pull it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, some of my fondest memories of that time was literally paying your $25 league fee, and you're just wanting to get league over with so you can start bowling $25 a game, random draw doubles.
Yep. Literally.
And there was a night that I didn't even bowl in league. I just went up to watch. And my uncle's like, "You got your stuff?" I said, "No." He goes, "Stick around. We're throwing jackpots afterwards." I borrowed a lefty's OG Messenger, and I had on house shoes, and I walked out of that bowling alley with $400.
Easy, man. You know, Larry Husky, he was sitting there back in November. He said, "Marvin," he says, "Look, man." He said, "Man, I used to run down to Memphis on over a weekend, go down and just go bowl jackpots."
Yeah.
Like literally, like you don't even get that no more. Like, I give Dougie the utmost credit for actually trying to start back action the way he did, the way he started back action. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Dougie Vision.
I have not.
Yeah, I'm not too terribly familiar, but I've heard his name being thrown around.
Go to YouTube and look up Dougie Vision. And as a matter of fact, you probably have to scroll back a couple years back, because now he does tournaments now. But he used to host action. Like, he'd sit and turn around. He would book a house, and people would turn around. They'd match, bowl matches against each other. You know, throw up $200 for 3-5 games. You know, whatever they agreed upon. So, you know, he kind of started action back a little bit. But then what happened with that was, turn around, you know, oh, my backer didn't show up. Oh, man, we're not going to bowl each other. Oh, I'm not bowling against him. He's lefty.
Guys, I want to give a scoop alert real quick. Anybody in the chat or anybody in this group that does not follow Devo, go follow him.
Oh, yeah,
he just started posting bowling content. Fellow lefty, he's my dude.
I got you, Devo.
I'm pretty sure I scooped him last week.
Cool.
He's a military vet. He used to post a lot of martial arts content, and he just started going in the bowling community.
All right.
That's what's up.
Awesome.
Yeah, welcome aboard, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Doug. So now, like I said, and you know what he actually does now? Like I said, his formats are so different. And then he turns around, he's still paying out. Oh my goodness. His side action alone, he's paying out almost $20,000 in side action.
Jesus.
Yes. Inside action.
That's
Not the
nuts.
tournament itself. Now, mind you, you're already entering the tournament. Then he's
Right.
doing the Calcutta on top of it. Then you got a whole bunch of side action.
Dude,
Yes.
I would love if more tournaments, like big tournaments, started doing Calcuttas again. Because it is pure 100% gamble unless you have inside information on guys. But it is so much fun, and it makes the tournament so much more fun to watch.
Yes. Big time. I've seen that. I'm like, wow.
Like, there was a dude, when we were talking about Opie, and he came in second that one game in Midnight Bowler Society a couple of years ago. Somebody that had put money on Ope in the Calcutta basically walked away with close to the same amount of prize money that Opie made because his odds were so high.
Right. Like, literally. And that's just the way it goes.
But I told Victor if he came up for Midnight Bowler Society, I was like, I will show up to St. Charles and I will put money on Victor in the Calcutta. I was like, I'm getting into that action.
Hey, say that dark horse.
But we all know Victor. If anybody can nut up and roll on hard ass conditions, it's Victor.
Yeah. We're gonna have to get you a change jar like Britt.
Oh, I'm not nearly that bad. Come on now. But if we were doing it, I have matched her 50 cents from y'all's show already. Because I've name dropped twice.
All good.
No, that's the running joke on the learning curve is Britt loves her some Victor, and she will talk Victor all the time if you let her. And our buddy D Gab's like, all right, we're starting a jar. Every time you say his name, you got to drop a quarter in.
That was a great post, by the way.
That was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, everybody scoop each other up.
Yeah, and that is. Do we want to announce that the possibility of? Well, I'm kind of already doing it, so let's just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag.
Kind of got your foot in your mouth now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've blown past the tease part. Now I got to pretty much say it. We are gonna have some random like non-Monday shows where we come on and do a BHB scoop show. So
Cool.
It'll be like those accounts that are close to that 1,000 that we kind of would like to have on.
There you go.
We're gonna pin their name, drop their name, get the chat to scoop them up, and get them over that 1,000 follower threshold.
Yeah.
Did they reset it back to 1,000 now? Where you got to have 1,000 now?
I think you can technically go live at 500, but I really want to try to push people to a higher standard so that they're not.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't have to do anything else because honestly, you have to progress if you're going to do what you're doing.
Right. I mean, and even if it's the old threshold, it's one of those better safe than sorry's. Get them over 1,000 in case they change their mind.
Yes. I mean, like I'm still finding out more stuff. Like, because the more followers you get, there's actually like more features that come about, and I'm at 11,000, and it's like, wow, just seeing some of the different features that I see.
What's up, Reddy? I think it's random. I've seen people with 50 followers going live. I've seen people with 500, 250, 750. I don't know what the parameters are.
Pay a little bit of cash, and those numbers don't really matter if you hook up the bills.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right.
I was gonna say that's TikTok's biggest deal, though. You know what I mean?
That
And
did it.
There are certain softwares that you can get around it if you use it, but if this platform catches you using said software, it is almost an immediate ban.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of businesses
Pretty
that
sure
are.
that's why people are sitting there like, oh, I had this many followers and I got banned. Yeah, you're probably sitting there doing something you shouldn't that they caught on to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't stay in your lane. You got in the wrong lane, sir.
I mean, honestly, like when the whole mass following became like a huge thing, did you see people like, oh, I can't follow anybody anymore? No. It was only because it was like trying to control that aspect of like, oh, everyone's just going to like pop off and get big.
Yeah, they caught on to the spam following, and they're like, look, you got to at least pretend that you're
You have to engage.
interested.
Yeah, you just can't sit there and just like and follow, like and follow, like and follow.
I mean, I may have gotten the temporary ban like 3 times. Just
Well,
saying.
I get
I've only got a couple warnings. I got, as a matter of fact, it was from one time I was sitting there bowling 9-pin with Big Josh and one of his buddies there. They turned around and I think they like pulled their shirt up and flashed the camera.
I just had that happen recently.
dude, yeah.
No way.
A couple of weeks ago.
Dude started playing with him. He pulled his shirt up and starts going like this. I'm like, I was just like, bro.
He was on the
I didn't-
approach
I didn't
and
know
he
what to
turned around
say.
and looked at him like, what the
Then I told him, I had to tell him, I was like, well, you just exposed yourself to probably a lot of people on TikTok. And he goes, oh, I thought you were just recording for your own self to go back and watch later. I said, well, you should ask.
Hey,
I've literally had, Brian saw it, my buddy Roy tried to moon my camera,
Oh boy.
and he started, I'm like, I'm live, please don't do that.
please stop.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
No. But that's another name that
you only got banned for a year, man. I know someplace you'll get permanently banned.
Mm-hmm.
Starting a
But that's
fight.
another name that, Marvin, you might know. The guy that tried to moon my camera while I was on live, Roy Turner.
Oh my god. Oh my god. See, now I ain't gonna let him live that one down now. I'm getting him for that one.
Yeah, that's my boy Roy. I love Roy to death,
I'm
but I was like,
getting him for that one.
I'm like, Roy, please
Thank
don't.
you,
I'm on
everybody,
live.
for likes.
Absolutely. I know that there was a guy in my league house. Every league that I get into, they vote on this individual because this is before I started league there. Evidently, it was like a year before I started. The guy was in charge of putting in all the scores. Was winning year after year.
Shocker.
Bro. Check. Just locking up scores. Like things did not match up. They went back quite a bit, and then they saw how much changes he did to the actual computer to score sheets. So now we have to vote on this dude every time I start a league to say, no, this guy's not allowed to bowl. Can't be in charge of anything, obviously. We don't even want
Right.
to. Like, that's crazy.
Like,
Last
I
week,
mean,
they made a mistake last week in ours, and I was the best female bowler there was last week.
Bro, are they going to give you a pin for that?
now I
It
haven't
was-
seen that.
It
in
was a
bowling,
297.
What are you doing?
But
You-
I did
you
see
ready to
it.
go to bed? You getting ready to go to bed on me?
Nope.
Okay.
Watch that out.
I did see it in disc golf.
Bro,
There was a annual disc golf tournament. Like it was like the Masters version of a disc golf tournament. He would sit there and collect money throughout the year to pay off for this one event.
Yep.
Well, he got caught paying his own personal bills with the money he was collecting for the tournament, and they actually wound up having to cancel the tournament because they didn't have prize money.
Right.
So here's one for you, though. There's a guy that bowls up at our alley. He owes over $3,000 in league fees, and they still let that dude go in there and bowl.
Dude, that's crazy. If you are 2 nights overdue in my league house, you're done. They will not let you bowl. And even
Cherry
if you
Grove?
try to bowl, they're going to cancel that score, and then they'll punish you. They're not going to let you take that blind. It's a vacant for that
Yep.
spot.
Cherry Grove won't let you bowl until you're caught up the next week.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
How are you?
And
Yeah,
if you don't pay it, you're out.
That's out of the question. Period. $3,000.
Yeah,
How can you get
I'm not
$3,000 in the
exaggerating.
hole?
I'm not exaggerating.
That's multiple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like multiple leagues.
I was going to say it can be multiple leagues because you go figure a league is $750 a year, give or take.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, depending on if it's like fall league, then it's
Yeah.
a little higher.
Yeah.
I just don't
That's
understand why they don't
nuts.
go after him.
Yeah, that's mind blowing to me. And honestly, I will take that back. I know when I was born in Ohio, holiday lanes in the South Columbus area, they would let you float for like 3 weeks, maybe 4. But then if you got to 4, then they were like, nope, you either pay tonight or you're walking out the door.
Yeah,
But you know which
we've
lanes I'm
got
talking
one.
about.
We've got one league where everybody in this league's been bowling in it for years. Like, we don't get very many new ads, but our teams don't hardly ever drop off. That's how close knit of a league this is. And our league secretary will allow you to get behind, but you had to be caught up by each half. And if you weren't caught up by each half, you were either kicked or it was completely taken out of your prize fund. So if one of your guys was behind and that was the amount that you were winning for that half, nobody got from your team got anything because it was all paid up to get everybody caught up.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now, if I was on one of those teams and I had to sacrifice my entire half prize money to get you caught up, I'm taking it out of your rear end.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, hello. Yeah. Somebody paying some kind of way. Heck, every year, you know.
I kind of ran into that situation with someone on my team that basically bailed on us at mid and then didn't pay the rest of his dues. We ended up having to pay the rest of his dues. When it came time for prize fund, we took that money back out of his prize fund and paid us back for what we had to pay for him to still be a blind, even though, because he just went El Comunicado. So we're like, all right, we're gonna pay it for that way.
Okay, see, we had one guy. He actually took an entire league's dues. Yeah, he wound up going to court.
I bet.
Jesus.
Court.
Yeah, he wound up. Yeah, they wound up going to court behind it because, hey man, we're talking how much? Good 50 grand.
Yeah, that.
Good God.
Yeah.
That's getting into felony territory.
Yeah, he was like I said,
That's definitely
you
dumb.
wound up not getting the charges. Only be like I said, they entered into an agreement, and after that, the only thing he was allowed to do, he just bowl.
I'm
That's,
surprised he won
I mean, he paid restitution over time.
Right.
Yep. But, in the meantime,
But
they
if
had
I
a
was
whole
that guy,
league.
knowing the St. Louis area, I wouldn't be bowling in my area no more because every time you show up, somebody's taking a bite out of your rear end.
Yeah.
Well, you sure you won't be floating down to Mississippi, or because New Jersey, man, they like fitting people with concrete boots,
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know they known for that.
Ain't nothing a baseball bat and a couple of kneecaps won't fix.
That's it.
Water.
Well, yeah, you know what? Yes, see, a question that just came to my head that I had wanted to talk about, and I lost it that quick. In the rest of the conversation, don't you hate that? It's gonna come back to me though.
Apparently,
Hey,
my dog wanted to be the
sometimers-
star of the show while I went and got water.
Sometimers is kicking in. Mine does it all the time.
Hey man, I'm pushing 50. You know, I mean,
Ooh,
I ain't far
that's
behind.
that's another guy Marvin, that I'll name drop from my area that you'll know. Brian Biaggi, the bag man.
Bagman. Oh yeah.
I need to
There
go
was-
up to Michigan and bowl.
There was a 9-pin no tap that me and Bagman went in and we got paired up together on the same pair. During warm up, we looked at each other and we're like, all right, we're coming 1 and 2 in this tournament. I was like, all right, bet. Me and Bagman both shot 865s.
Yep.
300, 245s. And we're
That's
1 and
crazy.
2 and finished 1 and 2 in the tournament.
That's crazy. I'm trying to remember this question that I wanted to ask. Oh my goodness. It would have been like a really good one. It's gonna come back to me, and I'm gonna remember it like later on. I'll probably remember it by next week, and I'll ask it when I'm in the chat.
About it, that's when they're like, oh, that's what it was.
Go ahead.
Okay, I got a good question. And I know Marvin, your answer is going to be vastly different than us three. What's the highest stake tournament you ever competed in?
I've competed in Missouri State. We actually used to do. Actually, where I'm from in New Jersey, we actually used to hold as a matter of fact, all the associations, I'll say the counties, they would hold a Masters tournament. And with that, you win the Masters, you get entered into the National Masters.
Right.
Nice.
Yes. So I competed in my local association Masters. And yeah, like I said, back then, even on a pattern, it was on a, so pretty much Devo, yeah. It was pretty much a pattern. So you're bowling on a Masters pattern pretty much. And the patterns were way different than what they are now. And you weren't sitting there bowling on 3 different patterns, that kind of deal and all that. I mean, even the U.S. Open, the way they even changed that, like I said, the greatest one when Pete Weber won back in 2012. That 45-foot flat, and you grinded that out all week. You weren't sitting there bowling on 4 different patterns. You sat there and you grinded yourself out on that flat pattern all week. Literally. And to me, that is the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I agree. U.S. Open should be the hardest pattern you're going to bowl on all year. That's where the men are made out of the boys.
Right.
I just bowled on one of them the other day. It kicked my rear.
Oh, it's going to.
Yeah.
It will humble you. It will humble you in a heartbeat.
Yes.
It's
So-
meant to make you cry.
Right. Devo, honestly, from my experience, and I have very little experience with the PBA. I just started doing it. I'm in 2 different PBA leagues at 2 different houses. They both have the same pattern sometimes. Both houses are totally different. It will humble you and it will frustrate you. But when you go back to a house shot, you slay it. I mean, I'm talking, your scores go up almost 100 pins just off of that alone.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, I bowled the U.S. Open experience at Bolero Lakeside, which is in Chesterfield,
Yeah.
and it was on the flat pattern. I averaged probably 160 on that. I went straight to a different house, bowled on a house shot, and I felt like I could close my eyes and throw it and strike.
Literally. I mean, like me myself. Like I've been going down the Ozarks now for 8 years.
So, with you more experienced guys, would you use urethane on a sport pattern? Maya wanted to know.
Depends on the length.
I usually on short pattern I would think would be better.
My purple cheat code loves 38 feet or less.
I will say for myself, I prefer not to use urethane.
Use a bigger ASIM.
Yep.
I figured that was the answer. It's always urethane or a big ASIM, preferably short pinned on short.
Yes. Because that's the thing. You can't. You wouldn't want anything. You want something that's going to let the pattern play, not the ball play.
Yep.
The lane. Let the pattern play the shot. Like I say, you turn around. Like I said, you throw a big ball. It's gonna use the ball's energy early in the early part. So then, like I said, going down the rest of the lane. Rest of the way down the lane, there's nothing but the pattern.
Yep. I was going to say, it's going to get into a roll, and then it's just going to keep in the direction it started.
Yep.
Now, I also have had a lot of success throwing urethane on short for the first half of the block to get carry down and some shim, and then throwing a low diff symmetrical pearl into my burn and using the hold.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to force that line. You have to push oil out, and then you can make your movement.
Yeah, especially on flat, you've got to build your own. You've got to build your own shot.
Yes.
So on short pattern, I would during warm-ups I would start at the 5 and see how much the ball hooks, if it's overhooking or underhooking. That's what I would do, but that's just what I do. I'm totally different than everybody else. So I bowled on shark tonight. That was fun. That wasn't too bad. My pure envy slayed that one.
See, you start at 5. Me and Marv would probably start at like 2.
Literally.
Yeah, but okay, I'm a one-hand, no-thumb bowler. It is hard to get the 2 board. I'm sorry.
Right.
Especially when you're trying to play a tight line on the right side.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have that
anything sport
precision.
That first practice shot is up 2 or 3 to see if those outside boards are going to hook.
Right.
You can always use the 31 rule too. So if the patterns, if they tell you when you go in, it's 32 feet. I mean, your target line would probably, your breakpoint target line would be the 1 board. You know, if it's 40, it'd be 9. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, that's a good base point to start off at. Yeah. But it also depends on lane surface, the group of guys you're bowling with. It's a great start, but it is not an end all be all.
Right. No, it's just a rollout, a beginning point.
Yeah, I like to call them point of references.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can start here, and then you're like, oh, that was not what I expected. Oh, maybe I need to jump to that. And you need to make that decision pretty quick, especially if you're in practice, because you don't want to be still practicing while you're actually throwing good shots, or not good shots, I should say.
So you take the pattern's length minus 31, and that's typically the target for that pattern. So if it's 32, you would be target the one board. If it's 40, the 9 board, yada yada yada.
Now, Marvin, I got a question for you because there is a short pattern that I absolutely love that the Rule 31 plays, but the path to get there is completely different than what you've thought that what you would think. What do you like the Del Ballard, the 34-foot Del Ballard?
I have yet to bowl on it.
Okay, the Ballard, you do the Rule of 31. Your break point's going to be 2 or 3, but there's a lot of built-in hook in it.
Right.
So you actually have to swing it to the 2 to 3 board. If you play straight up, that thing will take off like a freight train.
Mm-hmm.
I shot a 250 game with 3 balls in the drink on the Del Ballard because I was swinging it out to the 2-3 area.
Yeah. Because, like I said, when you see these guys on TV, and a lot of times, this is what I tell a lot of people, don't see that. They've already practiced on there before the lights come on, before the telecast even starts. They've been balling on it for a good half hour, 45 minutes. They've got a spot burnt down lane, so don't try and imitate what you see them doing because it's not going to work.
Yeah, so my pro shop guy is a PBA Hall of Famer, Brian Himmler, and he always told me, because he would tell me, he'd be like, game 1 through 3 is not your scoring game. 4, 5, 6, you're going to post your highest numbers. He said that's what we did during PBA is our 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th games were our highest scoring games, period.
Yeah, that is definitely old school PBA mentality. You're like, hey, I'm just gonna throw a par for the first couple of games. Then when we break them down, that's when we're going for our 230, 240s.
Right.
I mean, honestly, this brings up a good subject that I just saw a video, and I'm pretty sure we were talking about it. About I don't remember who posted it, but it was like, bowling, it's not that hard. I could compete against the PBA guys and all this, that, and the other, and I'm like.
For reference, Marvin, if you haven't seen this video, he's watching the freaking U.S. Open. In the U.S. Open,
you know what?
It was 209 to 190 was the final score. And he's like, I shot 215.
Yep, I had that same mentality when I was 12 years old, yeah.
I will say I think this guy's probably in his, I would say early 20s, maybe mid-20s. But his thought process, I was like, dude, that's...
You heard what I said, right? I had that mentality when I was 12.
Right.
Oh, man, they're shooting 212. I can shoot 212.
Yeah. Big deal.
So I think if somebody, and let all 14 to 18 of us soak this in, was to make a video on how to properly set up a lane during PBA patterns, I think a lot of people would view it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like the prep, like what you don't see before the lights come on.
Literally.
I think that would be a great video. I would watch it 1,000,000 times just to soak it in.
Well, I guarantee you they're going to be throwing like your pure envy or an extreme envy, sand it down to like 360 up the outside to burn up the outside for 5 minutes. And then they're going to go throw plastic up 25 to push oil down in the middle so they have a little bit of hold.
Matter of fact, here you go. Go on YouTube.
Go ahead.
There was a, and I'm getting ready to throw this really good name at you. You guys are going to go, holy Jesus. They were bowling on cheetah pattern. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the tournament was the El Paso Classic. Or no, if it wasn't the El Paso Classic, it was a good 2-3 years before that. I forgot. But Robert Smith,
Robert Duncan Smith, Maximum Rob.
Maximum Bob. Randy Peterson did a breakdown, and he says, you can see what Robert Smith was doing during the warm-ups. He took out his piece of plastic. I think that was when they had the sponsored plastic balls at the time. So whatever time that was, they had those.
Oh, that was when Walter Ray was throwing his odor eaters ball.
Yeah, around about that time. And Robert Smith was taking his piece of plastic, throwing it up 5 to get more oil to go down the lane. And Randy Peterson broke that down. He says, look at what Robert Smith was doing. He was throwing this particular ball so that way he can create himself more of a hold spot down lane, as opposed to burning it out. So
See, a lot of people don't understand what hold means or burning it out, So
So when we're talking about burning out a shot, you're drying the lane out. You're throwing a resin ball. You're throwing a reactive ball for the oil to get picked up on the lane. So every time you throw your ball down the lane, your ball's picking up oil. It's absorbing oil. Yeah. That's why a lot of times you see your ball, after you've thrown it a while, it comes back. For those of you that don't know, like I said, I'm just breaking it all down for you. For those that don't know, there's somebody there. So what happens is you turn around, your ball's picking up. So when you see your ball come back, and after you've thrown it, your ball's all shiny and everything else, your ball has oil absorbed in it. So what do you turn around doing? You turn around. You have to sit and so that's what happens. Your oil picks up all that lane off, all the oil up off it's picking up oil off the lane every time you throw it down the lane. So if you have pinpoint accuracy, what you can do is create a hook spot that you can throw your ball right to that spot and your ball's going to hook off of it. It's just going to keep going and it's going to make that move towards the pocket. So that's essentially what burning out the lane is doing. Now, as opposed to, what I say, carrying down or pushing?
Yeah, creating hold.
Creating hold. That's, to me, I would call it throwing polished urethane. You're pushing, all you're doing is an analogy would be, what would be a good analogy? Pouring water down your windshield pretty much. Like you're just going to see there where the oil is just going to keep, especially when you're on a hill or something like that. You're just going to see, you're throwing your ball down a lane, and all you're doing is taking it and moving it from one part of the lane. You're moving it from the early part of the lane down to the back part of the lane where it's usually drier and there's more friction, where your ball is actually going to hook more than it would be. So that's what your hold. That's the difference between burning and holding out. So when you hear someone say, "Oh, the lanes are burnt out," they're saying the lanes are hooking a lot. So when they say, okay, or you might hear this term, the lanes are playing tight. That means the lanes aren't hooking as much where it should be.
I always equated using urethane to create hold as a snow plow. You are plowing the oil from the heads.
There you go.
Are pushing the snow plow towards the pins.
Yep. JJ, my buddy, what's going on?
Honestly, the more I pay attention to, every time I pick up my ball after a shot, I pay attention to the oil that I'm seeing on the ball. Before I wipe it off, I'm looking at my track, and I'm looking to see how much oil is still there so that I can help read if I need to make that adjustment.
Hey, guys.
And I'm also, to piggyback off that, I'm looking at wet flare versus dry flare.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Because if I got a lot of dry flare on like my bigger hook and ball, I'm in the wrong ball.
Yeah.
And I need to get into something that's not going to be as aggressive on picking up oil.
That's it.
So, Devin asked a question. Maybe you more experienced guys can help him on.
Any tips on anyone working to go pro? Accuracy, because on harder patterns, you are not going to have your miss room. You're going to need to be a whole lot more accurate, and the release off your hands got to be consistent, because launch angle on the harder patterns is definitely going to be a difference maker. If your launch angle is 2 to 3 degrees different on every shot, those two shots, even if you lay them down at the same point, are not going to look the same.
So
For
getting
me-
back to, go ahead. Go ahead.
So for me, I would say, see, I'm gonna get very, very, very expensive on this. I'm gonna even say, just okay, you want to go pro, you got to have the finances for that. Big time, no other way to say that. You're traveling around the country, you got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to get each stop, especially you go out on tour. And hotels ain't cheap no more either.
Nope.
And you're paying $245 to $315 per event.
Per event.
It takes some cash money to get involved in it.
So yeah, that's the first thing I'm gonna hit that on the nail, because I've been asked that question plenty of times. Marvin, how come you don't go pro? I'm not going pro because I'm not in a financial position to go pro.
Mm-hmm.
Which segues me to my next point. I have to be able to put the time in to prep myself.
A lot of time.
There's a lot of time that goes in. You just can't sit there and show up. Yes, these guys have a practice session, but are you practicing on these shots even though the shot's not there? During your downtime, what are you doing? Are you sitting in the bar soaking away your sorrows because you didn't make the cut?
And honestly, sometimes you're not going to run into when you're trying to get like sports patterns. It's hard to get someone to lay a sports pattern out. So you have to try to figure out, okay, I don't necessarily have the sports pattern. What can I work on today? Because you don't work on everything as a whole every day. Sometimes it's form. Sometimes it's approach. Sometimes it's actually a pattern that you're working on. You have to keep yourself in a mindset that is like, oh, I'm just going to go out and throw some games and then I'm going to be a pro. That's just not how it works.
And if you can't have access to a sport shot, the best time to practice on a house shot is Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m.
Not my
after
house.
you've had a weekend of plastic going down the lane from open bowling, because that is no longer a house shot.
Not my house that's opposite of my house. Sunday is the worst day to go until league starts, and then you're okay.
Or birthday party house shot. That.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, they should
They
name
asked me what I wanted for our next PBA experience on Thursday nights, and I told them, I was like, I want you to get 10 birthday parties going on in here, and I want them to try to master that.
Literally, that's how you actually improve your game.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out on a fresh house shot. You're going to see them when you're bowling league.
Yeah.
You're also like a lot of times what I'll do, I'll turn around, I'll bring my whole arsenal of balls in. Each frame I'm throwing a different ball, getting a read of what each ball is actually doing at any given point. Just because. And it ain't so much, okay, I'm just gonna shoot 3 games and I'm done. A lot of times you turn around, like I'll do this too. I'll turn around, I'll shoot 7 pins, even though, like I said, the scores, they aren't set up where I can sit and set up a 7 pin. I will turn around and I will do my best to shoot that 7 pin out of a full rack for an entire game. I'll shoot out a 10 pin, an entire rack for a full game. I might even break it in half, something like that. Especially if I had a bad outing where I just came off a tournament and I missed a lot of 7-pins. Guess what? I call it. That's my self-inflicted punishment. Now you're gonna sit and you're gonna learn how to shoot a 7-pin, and you're gonna. And that's exactly what you're gonna do.
But yeah, when I was throwing 3 to 4 regionals a year, I would go to the busiest house for open play on the weekend, and I would literally go Sunday at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I would literally have them put me on the pair that had the most traffic all weekend long. And they're like, "Are you sure that's toasted?" I said, "Yes, because that's what I need to practice on."
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, here you kind of you missed one of my questions there. String pins. Let's weigh in on string pins. I want to hear what you guys got to say about that. I know
string pins,
you guys are probably
like the certified USBC, I'm fine with, because those are regulated. Those have been tested to no end. Now the outlaw string pins that are like at the main events and some of these boleros are hot garbage. You will get mysterious string pin carry because the strings are so long and so loose that they'll get intertwined and they'll just drop.
Okay, me myself. My way in is I'm not going to comment on it until I've tried it. I'm not just going to go based off of what I have seen on video.
I can tell you from my experience, they built a Bolero in Dania, not too far. And one of my league was like, "Oh, let's go check it out. You know, it's close. You know, we got nothing to do. It was Saturday." Number one, not just about the string pins, but the approach lane or the approach length was significantly shorter than normal, which was very odd. But we were throwing our house stuff there, our normal gear, and I mean the lanes were so dry we couldn't even keep it on the lane. So we went to plastic, and the actual like the string carry, it's kind of like one of those things that when you throw at it, you're gonna have to learn there's different aspects. Like you're gonna hit a little right on the right side, and it might still carry everything. But I will say I see a lot less splits with it. But
So, Miss Kidda asked, "What ball cleaners are you guys having good success with?"
I'm biased. I'm a CTD staffer. So for a quick clean, I use that Wow Factor from CTD. For a deep clean, I have not gotten the new one, which is Incredible Clean. I'm still using Life After Death, but Life After Death and their sponge, phenomenal.
Life After Death is mine as well.
We use a Fabuloso Simply Green mixture with alcohol mostly, but I usually take mine to the shop and have it resurfaced instead of cleaning it.
Guilty.
It's just so much easier.
That's literally what I do. Like I'll gauge how many games I got on. I'm like, all right, let's go throw in detox. Throw it on the spinner.
I actually just picked up one of the detox machines. It's basically just a freaking heater, you know, for the most.
Yeah, a dehydrator.
Yeah. It works well, but it takes some time because there's no rotation to it. So you have to.
They had a follow-up question.
Yes, Life After Death. You're supposed to sit and let that cleaner soak into it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because Life After Death has a product called Tackify in it, which is actually retacking the ball. Because when you put the ball in a rejuve or in a dehydrator, not only are you extracting oil, but you're also extracting Tackify, which is going to make the ball brittle over time. So that Tackify, when you put it on there and let it sit for 30 seconds, it is absorbing that Tackify to make the ball tacky again.
Kind of like rejuvenating the resin, because every time you dehydrate something, you're pulling something out. And when you're pulling something out, it's only damaging the ball. So you still have to put something back into the ball. And that's kind of like, you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, I need to get lane shine on a ball. And that kind of helps the ball to have a natural motion to it. It's not going to be so sporadic.
Correct. But because I always thought it was BS. Like when I first joined the regional staff, I was like, it's always oil that's coming out. There's nothing else out. And then I saw Ron put a video of a ball that he literally took right out of the box, out of the plastic, put it in a rejuvenator, and guess what? That ball was wet.
Yeah. Because it contains chemicals. I mean, that's what epoxies are. I mean, that's typically what a ball is. Resin, epoxies.
So he's like, see this? See this that I just pulled off the ball? That is making your ball brittle because your ball needs it. I was like, oh,
doesn't mean it's
light bulb.
Yeah.
Now, what I do love is the new, I call it the dip juvenator, where it's not put in the oven, it's submerged in the water, and it uses the ultrasonic vibrations to draw everything out. I am a huge fan of those.
I use that. That's the one I use.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of those because it's not heating the ball up enough to extract the Tackify, and it is slowly vibrating the ball, which is helping that oil get extracted.
Right. And it has that movement to it, so that's what's actually doing the process.
But dude, before I went on regional staff, I would literally take my league bag into my bathroom, turn the hot water on, fill my tub up, drop my balls in it, and squirt about 5 to 10 seconds worth of Dawn dish soap, and just let the balls soak for an hour.
Yeah, but
Which,
you got to be careful.
After
with
doing
that,
research, actually was not that bad of an idea.
Definitely.
Well, you don't want it. You don't want it to go over a certain temperature for too long, though, either.
Correct.
Yeah. You have to be careful of that.
Yeah, dude, I think I just saw a video of a dude that put his bowling ball into the oven.
I've seen a lot of house fires start because of that.
Bro, what are you doing? Like, that oven can't sustain such a low temperature for you to be doing that. Like,
No.
I mean, if you're using an SPI ball, your house might smell decent.
bro, I will
Yeah,
say,
you might smell like blueberry cobbler for a little while.
that smells fantastic when I do my storm show.
But if you go to the Tube of You and you watch, you go to the house bowling, Packy Hanrahan actually did an experiment where he actually put a track sensor solid in the oven that he had been using, like in his home oven, and compared it to a brand new sensor solid that he had just punched up. Very, very enlightening video.
Really?
I would strongly suggest you take it to your pro shop unless you have the proper tools to do it. I mean, because I wouldn't want to be the one to say, hey, yeah, go do this, and your house catch on fire or something. I mean, I don't want that responsibility on my shoulders. So,
Well, there was a big disclaimer on that video before Packy did it.
right.
I saw a DIY kind of thing that they did. They just basically took a 20-gallon tote, put a hole in the top corner of it so they could put a hairdryer in it, and they set the ball in there, turn that hairdryer on, and they're like, look.
I've done that before. I've done that with a cardboard box and a meat thermometer.
Yes.
So I could regulate the temperature.
Yeah, they had the thermometer.
Gotta have it. Yep. You gotta
They do
the
have those
thermometer.
oil extractors like that because I remember that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a whole one. They have an oil extractor like that, and then what you do is you actually set one of those an absorbent pattern on the bottom of it, just absorbs the oil, and you just turn around.
Yep.
Like every 10, 15 minutes or so, you turn around, dunk some you dunk some alcohol, or I'll say alcohol, just and you wipe it down real quick just to see exactly where you were at as far as
Yep.
Yep.
Yep,
See,
definitely been there, done that too.
Yep.
They also ask, is it okay to use a microfiber towel with life after death, or do you have to use the sponge?
It is much more effective to use the sponge.
Because the microfiber is really, it's going to be pulling it back off. The sponge is actually just coating it.
Correct. But the one drawback that I have seen with life after death is if you use it on your polished stuff, it will take that polish off and you need to repolish the ball.
Yes.
Unless you don't want the polish on the ball.
Correct.
Yeah, if you want it at 4,000, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll even say, if you don't want to have to worry about like sanding off the polish, just put that on there. You're going to be good to go. You're not even have to worry about an Avalon pad or anything.
Here, I got a $100,000 question for you. What's your take on the rate that they're coming out with new equipment?
The rate?
What up, Joel? The rate that they're coming out with new balls.
It's ridiculous.
They're coming out with so many new balls it's hard to keep track with, and they do that on purpose because they are trying to make the most money possible, and they know that the bowling community is going to go out and buy the latest and greatest.
Right.
I mean, I really feel like it's definitely more of a marketing thing, and I also feel like, which is kind of it's kind of a little off, but with like Battle of the Brands, I feel like they're all now competing to be like, okay, well, we need to have like more balls than everybody else so that we have a better chance of doing the Battle of the Bands or Brands, which not a lot of people are even familiar with what's going on with that because they don't really touch too much on it. Like when they're talking about it during the shows, they don't really explain it. They're just like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, well, no one really understands it, but that's
right.
Yeah, and they didn't even tell you that the brands were limited to 5 bowlers each.
Right.
It's like, oh, that would have been nice to know when I was trying to keep track of all this.
Yeah, because I'm like, heck, man, they could have put that could have been something to go on DraftKings.
Well,
like literally.
Well, you have a lot of those brands only had like 5 balls. So
DV8 only had 5 balls the entire year.
Well, who else? There was not just DV8. I think was Brunswick only 5 too.
No, it was Radical.
It could have been Radical. Yeah,
They had Hammer, Ebonite, DV8, and
Track.
Was it Track?
I was to say it may have been Track.
Because they only used 4. Because I know that's why Butcher got rebranded to Ebonite because they didn't use Columbia and they didn't use Radical.
Yeah, they actually took the Radical logo away from PBA sanctioned jerseys. Like, you cannot wear a Radical jersey in the PBA because they're not a PBA endorsed brand.
Right. That's what I said. Brunswick took away 3 there, so as a matter of fact, they have Brunswick too. So they took away Radical, Columbia, and was it Track?
It may have been.
I think.
I don't
because I don't think I saw anybody wearing a Track
Brunswick,
jersey this year.
Hammer, Ebonite.
Brunswick, Hammer, Ebonite. No, it was DV8. DV8 didn't have a PBA contract. Because that was why Packy switched from DV8 to Brunswick.
Yeah, DV8 was the other one they took out. So yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure? See, that's what I'm trying to figure out because what's the name? Matt Ogle, he's branded under DV8. Or did he get rebranded?
I think he went to Brunswick.
Okay, he got rebranded to Brunswick. Okay.
So it says here, introduces team representing 8 major bowling manufacturers: Brunswick, DV8, Ebonite, 900 Global, Hammer, Motive, Rotogrip, and Storm.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that was who was competing. But the lower numbers was like the DV8, the track, I think Hammer, Ebonite, right?
Hammer had like 20 balls. They had a huge amount of balls in it.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
See, man, you
'Cause
know, it used to be great back in the day, though, man. What they used to do, they turn around, whatever ball that was on their shirt, that's what they were throwing. So, like years ago, here's a song. This one might be older than some of y'all here. Track Critical Mass Code Red.
Yeah.
That was one of Walter Ray's favorite balls at one point.
One of my favorite balls.
But yeah, you want to talk about something absolutely completely weird after Brunswick bought out EBI to make the 7 was Tommy Jones in his first tournament after the acquisition. He was throwing a Brunswick Hero. And that looked so weird to me. I'm like, that is an Ebonite guy. He should not be throwing Brunswick.
And me, like, you know, like that's exactly what they were doing at the time too. They were sitting, hey, stop it, Tony P. But like, see, that's even what they used to do too. Like, okay, Tommy Jones was branded under Ebonite. That's all Tommy Jones was throwing was Ebonite. You know, it wasn't this entire mix. Okay, well, okay, he might need a purple hammer or something like that. You know, he's throwing. You know, if I'm not, well, heck, they didn't even need him back then. They didn't need irritating.
That's like still dedicated to like one ball. It's got to be Butters. Like he.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
No, well, Butters and Pack.
Yeah. Oh
both
yeah. Okay,
with the purple hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Yes.
Packy's best year on tour he ever had. I swear he threw the purple hammer 95% of the time.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like I said, we go to SBI. Yes, for Svensson.
Pitch
What
black.
did he throw? Pitch black. Now 78D.
I was going to say, now he's
78.
throwing a 78, an IQ 78U, but back in the day, it was pitch black or nothing for Jesper.
Literally. And to me, that's like, to me, it puts a damper on these manufacturers trying to sell equipment. To me, that's the way I look at it in a sense. So yeah, like when I saw Tommy Jones throwing he was throwing the 1. He was actually throwing a what you call it? It was a test.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a test one that he was throwing at the Tulsa Open when he had the front 10.
Yep.
See, nobody knows about that one.
Well, and the messed up part was Randy was wanting to talk about it so bad and couldn't.
He couldn't. Yup, exactly.
Right.
He's like
literally.
Tommy's throwing a ball there's not a whole lot of details on yet, and
I
know
can't
he's
talk
just
about it
wanting
right
to.
now.
He's wanting to so bad.
Like literally.
But that is another thing that I think that they could improve next year is during those PBA telecasts, getting into the balls more in depth than just showing the arsenal and the hook rating.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, there should be a lot more like educational background to their production because, I mean, yes, we all love to watch bull. Everyone loves to watch them knock pins down and be all great, but they're missing out the chance of educating people, especially because the youth. I'm not going to say the youth aren't interested because I see a lot of youth that are bowling still, and they love it, especially with the whole new two-handed aspect that the youth are like going crazy over because they're like, oh, I can actually compete. I can actually give these rev rates, where if I was a one-hander, I can't necessarily do that. So if they were just to expand on the education of like the equipment of who their bowlers that they're really following, what they're throwing, they could market it and be educational at the same time and bring a huge following.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. That,
But
to me, yeah. Aside from all the they do the little trivia and whatnot, they need to get more of that information out about the equipment to the bowler, so that way there's more of an understanding than what because you hear Randy say. I mean, like you hear Randy say it all the time. Hey, you think you come out here and do you? Well, here's your chance. Don't say that to anybody.
Right.
Like, have that 12-year-old me mentality. Oh, I can bowl better than these guys. All because they shot a 212. No, I can shoot 212s.
It was funny because, like I was saying, the year that Packy basically threw the Purple Hammer 95% of the time, they were showing everybody's arsenal, and Packy had made the show, and the arsenal page was like this big for everybody else, and Packy's was like this. It said Purple Hammer, deviate, spare ball.
Yep.
Or they could
literally.
Or they could add a QR code on the TV that you could scan to give you more information about the ball.
Yeah.
And reviews and stuff like that.
I mean, while we're sitting here watching, because 9 times out of 10, what are half of us doing anyway? We're sitting here flipping through our phones while we're watching.
Right.
It's a great opportunity for that. Hey, you gotta think about marketing.
Right, and not only that, but not too long ago they had a problem at the lanes, right? And they went off air for a good 10 to 15 minutes while they were trying to fix the ball return issue. That would have been a great time to make it like
that was a great education. Yes,
would have been a great time to add that into like,
yes,
they're dealing with this, and
yeah. Let's take a deep dive into what these guys are actually throwing.
Right. I mean, like doing all the extra stuff as like where they're whatever city they're in and whatnot. Because I remember they used to do that too. Like, oh, they're doing this. No, hey, take a couple minutes. Like, hey, and again, I say myself, yeah, you've got to figure out how to market these balls. And not just seeing everyone throwing urethane all the time.
Yeah. Yes.
I
think
like literally people like right about now, like who knows about a hammerhead except for you see on the hammer page they got a clip of somebody throwing one.
I was like Brunsnick.
Yeah.
There's only
the hype.
Yeah.
Lunopolis.
Well, I know this. The hammerhead's on my wish list.
I was going to say, you haven't bought yours yet? Because I know you've been talking about it for a while.
I know.
I swear to God, you will slay with.
I noticed that, Kobe. You buy a lot of lower end stuff, and I buy all of the top shelf stuff.
I don't know, man.
Like you get like the Black Widows. I mean, I get like the Black Widows, and I get like I don't like the 3Ds and the Envies and effects and all that.
Yeah.
We might have to share a couple balls there.
I mean, I do have a stealth mode hybrid I throw.
Still upper benchmark.
But the Pure Envy and the Mania right now are my go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
Another strong solid to replace my original Envy. Go to the Pure.
Pure Envy. Pure Envy all day.
Get the Pure.
Honestly, if I was going to make that jump, I would say Pure Envy too.
You can play super left or you can play right with it.
Well, the problem with that is, there's something that's getting ready to get released in September.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always something released. I mean,
I was going to say, There's always something new right around the corner.
Well, I was getting like you can figure out the time frame. You can like I've already figured. I hate to say it that way, but I figured out like the time frame when they're going to release something. They're always going to September. They're going to release one. Why? Because leagues started back up.
Yep.
Yeah. And the
Somebody
hazmat.
this ball sucks. Let me go grab a new ball. Like it's your marketing strategy. So
Yeah, and
Hey, Julie.
you'll see it through brands too. You'll see
Right.
a couple brands that always release at the same time, and
Yeah.
then the other couple brands that always release at the same time.
Right.
They're the ones that are fighting the battles.
And I have to agree with Tony. The hazmat solid and the hazmat pearl, them two balls are great too.
Good one too.
Now, who remembers when that's the way they used to release balls? You get a solid and you get a pearl at the same time.
Yep.
Well, this'll date us, Marvin. Look at how Hammer released the Blade series. They released
boy.
they released the Razor Blade, which was their big solid, and the Sling Blade, which was their big pearl, at the exact same time.
Yep. Like as a matter of fact, here you go. The Big Blue, the original Black Widow.
Yep.
Yep, Big Blue. I have a friend of mine who I donated the Big Blue spare to, and he still uses it as a spare ball.
No way. But yeah, for all you that don't know, yes, the Black Widow is originally the Hammer Big Blue.
Yep.
Yeah, they rebranded it because the Big Blue wasn't selling.
Yep.
But I still own my Hammer Razor Blade. It is in one of the bags in my basement.
Oh boy.
Straight out of 2005. And if the lanes are dry enough, like if it's a light enough oil pattern, that ball will still do what it did in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
See the first
However,
two balls.
you put that on heavier oil, that ball moves about that much.
Freeboard shimmy.
The first two balls I bought was the 2.0 and a Ghost Pearl. And
That's a good punch.
shortly after that I got the 3.0.
All right,
I'm telling you.
for everybody.
Josh, don't tempt me. I may put it in a bag.
What-
I'm bringing at least 6.
What's your absolutely least favorite ball that you've ever had? Like straight to the dumpster.
Track animal.
Storm Hot Rod.
Okay, yeah.
What?
I hated the Hot Rod.
It didn't link up with everybody.
That's
I'm
a fair
going-
statement. A lot of times that does happen.
Yeah.
Now, with the amount of hand I was putting into it, especially at the time when that ball was released,
Uh-huh.
I could throw it on a gutter to gutter flood and hook the ball then and control it. But anything less than that, I could not control that ball to save my life.
Wow.
The
But of course,
78U.
at that same time, I thought the Storm Big Hit, which was the lightest hook and ball they had, the Big Hit Pearl, which was the lightest hook and ball they had, I could hook the entire lane with it and loved it.
Over, you said 78U?
Yep. I bought that stupid ball. Trust me, I'm not that good. That ball ended up being sold a couple weeks later. And I didn't care what the guy gave me. I told him to take it.
Honestly, mine was it had to be probably it was a Hammer hybrid. I think it was the hybrid statement. I hated that ball. Hated that ball. I do not line up with hybrids at all.
Okay, I got another one, and Marvin, you're going to hate me even more than the Hot Rod. The Hammer Widow Red Legend Pearl.
I didn't get to
Could
throw,
not control that ball.
Well, actually, I didn't get to throw a hot rod either. It was like one of my balls of ambition that I wanted to throw that I never got to throw. But
yeah, that Red Legend Pearl, could not control it to save my life. It was supposed to go long, it would hit the mids and go dead right, and I could not put it on our side of the pocket to save my life.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So that storm ball, that was the Forest Firestorm. If I'm not mistaken, the one that smelled like pine sol.
Mm-hmm.
It smells like pine sol.
Forest Firestorm.
Dude, it did. It smelled like a pine tree.
It did. I swear to
Oh,
God.
hey, what's up?
It smelled dead ass like a pine tree.
Dude,
Yeah. That's what I said. There were a lot of balls out like years ago. I was like, man. That's what like I said. I didn't buy balls the way I'm buying them now. Like if I bought balls the way I'm buying them now, Christ Almighty.
And another ball from back closer to that day that I loved, that they tried to re-release, and it was nowhere near the original, the Black Widow Venom.
I don't know why I was not a fan of that one.
I loved that one. I matched up with it great.
That was, like I said, it was another one I didn't get to throw. That's what you said. At the time, Ham was trying to sit there. They were trying to, they started releasing all these Black Widows. To me, they were trying to recoup all that money that they lost off the Big Blue.
Yep.
And said, all right.
Yeah, that was at the time I think they released the Black Widow Venom. They released the Black Widow Bite. That was
another one I didn't get to throw that I was like, I looked at it and I was like, man, I think that one fit really good. That I never
But I loved my Venom. And then they re-released it as the Black Widow Black and Gold. And the Black and Gold was garbage.
Right. See, that one I never threw either. Never got one of those. See, as I'm gonna go back a little bit. It's not too much far. Do you remember the Apex line from Ebonite?
Ebonite.
Yeah.
I had an Apex Intensity. Loved that ball.
That ball was a hot ball. That was another one that sold.
I would say the Intensity was the green and yellow with the purple logo.
Yup, it had that. It was more that puke yellow, like
Puke yellow and like radioactive green.
Yeah.
It was an ugly ball.
the ugliest color scheme, but man, just
And for some reason they put purple in the engraved portion of the ball where the label was.
I did not understand that ball at all. Like, just by
ball colors.
Dude, what are they trying to sell here?
Were they off their meds or something?
But yeah, I loved that ball.
I
loved that ball. I gave it to my brother, who was also left-handed, whose span was more or less like mine, just had a smaller thumb. He loved that ball.
Because a lot of times, believe it or not, that's what I used to do too. There was a guy, he was lefty, and the only thing I had to do, he had a bigger thumb than I did, so a lot of times I sit and take a bunch of this stuff. I just take the mess out of the thumb hole. He started taking his stuff, and he actually, because he used to leave it in the shop. He was good friends with the shop owner, him and my dad. He'd turn around and leave it in the shop. He started taking his stuff home. He said, "No, man, you ain't gonna keep throwing my shit better than you ain't gonna keep throwing it better than I'm throwing it." And I was scoring with him too. And he'd be like, "Man, you can't do that."
Yeah, we got a good question. Devo asked, "What's the most reliable ball you guys use on the lane?"
Swag Dragon.
Black Craze Pearl.
My Mania.
See, my problem is, I'll just run to my bag and grab the ball.
What's your favorite though? What's your go-to?
The one he puts his fingers in.
Right, believe it or not, right now it's the effect.
The effect, dude. I love the effect. Don't get me wrong.
The OG effect?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good
I'm
ball.
throwing one right now, and I got a blank one in the garage. That's how much I fell in love with it when they released it.
See, now that's how much I love my Swag Dragon. Is I will throw my Swag Dragon over my Effect Tour, and I love the Effect Tour.
Yeah. So remember, like when I got all the envies, I got the original. I got another one. Because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll turn around, like if I feel I want another ball, I'll tell my wife I want one for my birthday because my birthday is close to Christmas. So now, she's... So I'm like, okay. So like I said, if it's a ball I like, and I'll tell her, all right. I go in the shop and I tell the shop owner, I tell my wife I want that one.
Well, and that's the thing is I think I'm actually gonna start buying blanks of balls I really love. Like I could buy a blank of a Swag Dragon right now and just store it until that one dies.
And the thing is, you kind of need to start doing that because the way the ball manufacturing is going right now, they're releasing so much new stuff that some of the other stuff they're just discontinuing so that they can make room for the other stuff.
Yeah,
right. It is getting discontinued so fast.
Fast. Yeah, if you find a ball that you really, really love, dude, get some blanks and just store them.
I mean, like right about now with the Envy line, unless they come out with something else, Envy, I got 2 of them, like right now in my garage. Someone to be looking for one, I can make me a couple bucks off of it. No other way to say it if I don't wind up drilling it.
Right, and that's the other thing. And because I've seen it in the past couple of months, some of the balls that you can't get a hold of, dude, they're selling those things for like $500 a piece.
Dude, imagine the guy that bought a handful of IQ emeralds and just stored them. And how much money they're making off of the IQ emerald.
That's exactly what I was talking about. That's one of the balls.
Literally. That was just like when Brunswick bought out EBI. Okay, people were selling their purple hammers on eBay.
Yep.
$500 or better.
I was to say Kentucky purple hammers were flying.
Yes. People were getting into bidding wars over them.
Because they thought there was no way that Brunswick was going to be able to replicate the formula for it.
Brian, answer her question.
I'm texting it right now.
Talk.
Sorry, man.
Use your words.
Well, I wasn't trying to talk over y'all. Yes, it's polished. It is very strong. It's stronger than the effect.
The special effect is a polished solid versus a pearl too. That's another big difference.
Correct.
But I haven't gotten a special effect yet. It's on the wish list.
I got it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But it's a lot for my house shot. Unless I get really deep into the game, and then I really start throwing through some center oil to get it across. That is pretty effective.
I see what you did there.
So, what was my next one? What was I getting ready to say? See, I lost my train of thought again. Doggone it.
The next 77 here, bro. I get it.
See, my issue is I can't get another asymmetrical ball. I have too many.
Well,
my next question for you, Marvin, is what are a lot of these companies?
Like right about now, my house shot. I'm sorry, Steve. Like right about now, my house shot. They changed our house shot again, so now I'm actually having to get into like a hazmat or a hammerhead, or I'd even say a vibe. Because, like I said, just trying to figure out the house shot because it's playing like so much more different than, what I've been used to.
On Bowler's Mart, you can get the Arctic vibe under $100.
No way.
Arctic was a good ball.
Because I was actually looking at, the first one I was looking at was an Arctic vibe.
I like it.
It's a little situational, but in the right conditions, very good ball. But
think it's
the
a
question
great
I was
ball.
going to ask you, Marvin, is back in our day, they never released polished solids.
No,
Hardly
they.
ever.
You know what they actually used to do? What we actually used to be able to do back in the day? We'd turn around and actually polish that solid and, you know, get a smoother motion.
Right. Now these companies are coming out with polished solids.
Yep.
What is your thought about them all of a sudden wanting to release these polished solids when they for so long would not do it except maybe once every couple of years?
That, like I said, I'm on the fence about that only because, like, right about now, like I said, is to me it's more their marketing strategy. So, like, I'll take for instance what I've actually done. My effect I'm throwing right now, I'll sit, take it, do the oil extraction, turn around, throw it on a spinner, resurface all that. Then I'll take it, put a polish on it, but then what I'll do is I'll sit and slap it again with like 2,000, 4,000. Like, you know, to me that's creating that like like that sanded pearl,
Yeah.
so to speak. So again, to me it's like it's creating that. So now to me it's like reverting back to like back in our day. Okay, now instead of being able to just go polish a solid, now you already got the polished solid in your hand already. So to me it's taking up extra space in the bag.
Yeah. Because
In a
like
sense.
right
But-
now, the two of the hotter selling balls are polished solids. The Special Effect is a polished solid, and the new Ion Pro is a polished solid.
Right.
And then Swag did a polished solid with the Unreal.
Here's another one you can actually look at right now too. Turbo X.
Turbo X. I didn't even think about that polished solid.
So like, I was sitting watching it go down, and I'm like, man, I could use that ball in my hand right now. And that's
Now,
kind of
ordinarily, I would buy a polished solid and then immediately crack the polish off of it. That'd be the first thing I would
yes. Believe it or not, some people actually do that. Like they'll turn around, drill a ball, stuff it, or they'll turn around and that's what I said. They'll play with the surface on their ball. You know, they won't just just turn around, factory out of the box and throw it.
Yeah, no, I'll give it some time. I'll put some lane shine on it. If it's not what I want, then yes, then that's when I'll start tweaking the cover.
But I think with like the Turbo X, for example, I think what makes that ball different is the polish on that weaker cover. So if you crack the surface, if you crack the polish off of it, it is defeating the entire purpose of the ball.
Yeah.
Right. Not you because like that right there in itself is almost opposite of what it used to be. Like if you had a upper ball, bigger ball. Say like an effect tour. You know, you turn around, you'd have to maintain the ball. Okay, like every 12, 15 games, I gotta extract the oil. I gotta resurface it.
Got to put it back to 2000.
To me, that's what's happening with that's the way the Turbo X is now, and with it being a lower end ball. You know, because Turbo X is a symmetrical. So to me, that's what it's doing now. Now you're having to maintain that Turbo X at a certain point, so that way you can still have that motion that it's supposed to have.
Right.
Right. But yeah, we look
Which
up
in
and
turn
it
is
is
also a
10:30.
marketing strategy for your ball polish and those of us, especially me, and I gotta do that myself. I gotta start getting pads because I don't have pads, and a lot of
I
times
got
I
you.
think to myself I need to hit something with a pad real quick, and especially a lot of times you go to tournaments and the pro shop ain't open, you up the creek.
Yep.
Marvin, if we're ever at the same tournament again and you need to change the surface on something, come find me. I always got pads.
My man, appreciate you, partner.
Here's my issue with it all. It's all money grab now.
Yeah,
It's,
that's
it's it just comes down to they're the same ball, different surface, different this, different that. It's the same damn ball. You can easily go take the lower end of that ball and go get it polished and have the same thing from it, you know. I mean, it's going to be a little different in some regards. I mean, I get that, but they have became so greedy that they want sales opposed to equipment that's going to last for a lot longer.
I would tend to agree with what you're saying 98% of the time. Oddly enough, the ball that we're talking about right now, that Turbo X, there is nothing else out there that's like it right now.
Yeah, but don't they have the Turbo X has? Let me see something. Hold on. It's the same ball as one of. It looks the same as the other one.
Which
All
other
right.
one are we talking about, Cubs?
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Give me a second.
Yeah, you're
you
good.
you know what he's gonna say. I guarantee he's gonna say the hammerhead or the hazmat.
I was leaning more towards hazmat, but
See?
with the polish on the solid, it is a different ball motion. Numbers wise, I bet you they're pretty similar.
As a matter of fact,
Doesn't
ahead.
Ebonite have another one that looks identical to the Turbo X?
No, because it's purple. There's not a whole lot of other purple balls out on the market right now. The last purple ball that was kind of similar to the Turbo X, I absolutely loved. Deviate, damn good verge.
Yeah, I was just gonna say deviate.
That would probably be what I would comp it to. Is the damn good verge. What is the highest RG out there? The highest I've ever seen for an RG was 2.57, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, Marvin.
I'm gonna almost say, dude, you're like right around there.
I think there was one at one point in time that was like a 2.59,
That was it.
but there wasn't. I think it was like one and only ball that was 2.59.
That's what I said. I don't have nothing in front of me where I can sit and look it up real quick. I'm glad Cole's doing it right now.
But I'm thinking the highest RG that's most commonly used is 2.57.
Sorry, my dog started barking.
I mean, that's what they do. You know what can we do?
I get it. It's just I try to be respectful.
Oh, it's cool, man.
I mean,
RG means length.
okay,
See,
I am mistaken.
When I think
I'm
length,
thinking-
I think of low diff more than I think high RG.
I am mistaken. I was thinking the Crown Victory, but that's identical to the Trek Stealth Mode.
Yeah.
But Track and Ebonite and them guys, they're notorious for releasing similar balls
Right.
all the way around.
And just putting a different nameplate on it for a different brand.
Very.
Believe it or not, if you actually sat and like you just you can take a substantial amount of time and you can sit and put two balls together and you can see how close their numbers match. Like literally, you can find two balls. You can go back just over a span of time. You can even just take the past 5 years. Let's just say, from the time Brunswick took over, Brunswick bought out EBI, and compare all those balls, and you'll find how much they've actually they're overlapping each other.
I was gonna say there's a massive overlap.
And yeah, I mean, to me, that's the downside. Like even, I'll even say on a economic level, everyone's about the almighty dollar, and it's rough to do that. But at the same time, you're gonna have that happy consumer that's just gonna, oh well, I gotta get it, so I'm gonna go get it.
All right, so I hate to break up the party, but we're at 2 hours and 42 minutes. I think we've exceeded the duration record for the podcast.
Did we?
I think
Leave it to Marvin, right?
right. I think the highest RG is 2.6 to 2.8 right now.
2.6. Okay, I was close.
Yeah,
I was pretty close.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I knew there was nothing no higher than like 3.0.
Yeah.
So.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
3 point. That would be Operation Extreme Redundancy.
Yeah, like man.
That's like anything that's into the like 0.2s in diff. That thing's never gonna hook. But anyway, like I said, we're about that 2 hour and 45 minute mark. We could go on forever on this. Marvin, this is definitely going to be one of those guys that we're going to have to put on the books for a follow-up episode, because even after 2 hours and 45 minutes, we haven't gotten through everything we could have gotten through.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know how old this is. 9 years ago, Storm had to fight. That was 2.62.
Wow. That's huge. That is a huge RG. Was that an A? That had to have been an ASIM ball. There has to be an intermediate diff on that.
Let's see. Storm. It was. I'm looking. Yeah, it definitely was ASIM.
I was going to say, that high of an RG had to have been an ASIM.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that would have been an absolute freaking sidewinder.
Uh-oh. Throw it up! Ah.
But thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for the likes.
We're going to go ahead and
shares,
wrap it up, because I got to take my happy rear end to work in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, 5:30 comes real quick,
All right.
Appreciate every one of you.
We appreciate everybody who stopped in. We appreciate Marvin for dedicating the time to us. It was a great episode. I'm actually going to download this thing. And I'm going to download this thing tonight, and I will probably upload it onto our Facebook page tomorrow.
YouTube.
All right, cool.
Or YouTube, yes, not Facebook. We don't do the meta over here. We do the tube review.
I was just about to say.
But yeah, if anybody missed tonight's episode and you want to go back, believe me, it's one that's worth going back to watch. Catch it on the tube review tomorrow.
And thanks for everyone showing up, liking the live, participating. We had a lot of great questions. It was a fantastic episode, and we're doing every Monday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, definitely be
All
sure
right.
to tune in. I didn't even realize it. And I was like, well, if you're doing it every Monday, now I know I can tune in.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, Cobes, flipping the
We have
deuces.
We have some timers and often timers, but it's time for us, the old timers, to go to bed.
You got that right. All right. Well, we're gonna end it with my line of, "There's never gonna be a last time." So until the next time,
Throw the rock.
or kick rocks.
Yep. See you guys.